Hi everyone, hopefully you're having a good Saturday. So in the first video of the series, I give you a very quick and rough introduction of the game. I gave you the names and the rankings of the tiles, and then started setting up hands house way. So after each lesson, we're going to go through 8 hands, and then I will deal 3 hands of a practice drill so that you can watch how to do it prior to practicing on your own. So the question now is, how can I practice if I don't have any tiles? Before you invest in an actual set, and if you're still kind of on the fence about whether you want to learn this game or not, let me show you how to get what you need from your local dollar store. This is what I actually got from Dollar Tree. She scanned it twice. Really? Anyways, it's just like one of those actual doormats. 2 packs of these double six dominoes. This is going to be our dice cup. I got these post-its, and that's to mark your squares. Some dice. Right? You only need 3 of those. You don't have to buy those, that's optional. Actually, a lot of this is optional. You probably have a lot of this in your house already. It's $10.44. That's with the Oreos. So under $10 Canadian, you can actually just have your own makeshift set, something that you can use to practice. I'll just use these post-its to actually have all of your squares set. A lot of your PAI GOW tables are going to have the 6 circles and then the dead square here. Or if you go to one that has no dead square here, there's going to be 7 circles. So that 7th circle would be in the middle here. Here's the dice. You only need 3. The dice cup, I just put one of these here on the lid. This is like supposed to look like a coffee cup. But there you go. This is like your makeshift dice cup. And that's what's used to determine who gets the first set of tiles. Now, if I break these off, I'll show you how to separate them so that you have all 16 pairs. You don't need anything with a blank, so you're going to take those ones out. Spares. Now that you have all of your dominoes out, you just break it off into your traditional 16 pairs. So I know it looks a little bit different than your tiles, but then again, you have all of these as your extra ones. So there's a nice setup for you, and it's under $10. And this is what you can use to learn the game in practice. All right, so this week I wanted to touch on the first point when you're setting up your hand, and that's looking for pairs. So because these are the strongest pairs, and they outrank wongs, gongs, nines, and every other 2-tile sum, for the most part you want to keep them together. However, there are some specific situations where you will be splitting these pairs. So for the sake of setting up tiles house way, there are 8 pairs that you can split and 8 pairs that you can't. How I remember these are anything that are special to the game. Those are the ones that you can split. So for example, Jijun. Because Jijun is the most powerful pair out there, and they have a specific rule where a tile can be 3 or 6, they have a split rule. Teens and Days, because you need them for wongs, gongs, and high nines, they can be split. There's specific rules for that. Now, because you have these ones, you also need the 7s, 8s, and 9s. Now, those are the remaining tiles that can be split. So, I have my Yun, but I also have the Japbat. I have my 9s, so my Japgao can be split. And then, finally, the 7s. So, both pairs of 7s can be split as well. So there are split rules for that. Now what does that leave? It just leaves this bottom half here. So when I see something like 4s, 5s, 6s, 10s, and 11s, I know automatically that I am not going to split them. Now, the only thing to keep an eye out for is the mixed 5s because they are not identical. But if I see the remaining pairs here in my hand, I will automatically put them together and I won't look at the other 2 tiles. And that's just a quick trick when you're dealing and you're setting up hands. Also, as a player, I mean, if you see these 2 tiles, you don't even have to look at your other 2 tiles if these are the first 2 that you see. So hopefully, if you remember this is just one quick point that'll help you speed up on some specific hands here that involve any of these bows. Okay, guys. So now let's go through some practice hands and see if we can find some pairs along the way. In the next video, I'm going to start showing you some of the split rules for these special pairs up here. All right. So here are some notes while I'm shuffling. Right, if you're practicing at home, make sure you stack up your tiles into 8 stacks of 4. Right, so we'll go through 8 hands here, starting with the first one. Number 1, what you're looking for first are any pairs. So do we have any pairs? No, no pairs. Do we have a teen or a day? Yes, we do. We have a day tile. And then do we have a 7, 8, or 9? So we do have a 7 tile here. And when you have one of each, they automatically go together. And it doesn't matter what the other hand is. So house way is 0, 9. So this is a day 9 with the 0. Okay, next hand. Number 1, do we have any pairs? No, we don't have any pairs. These 4s are different, so they're not together. Do we have a teen or a day? No teen or day. So now at this instance, what we want to do is put the hand as close together as possible. Now I have 3 small tiles here. Usually when I have the 3 small tiles, 2 of them are going to be 4s. Basically, what you want to do first when you put your hand close together, in my mind I'm thinking it's 1, 8. But because I don't have a 3 here, what I want to do is make the hand as far apart as possible. Because I only have a 1, I'm going to make my biggest hand as big as I can. Now I need to make a 7 on the high hand in order for me to let the hand stick. Okay, so because I have a 9, which is way higher than a 7, this hand is played this way. So I have 0, 9. Now remember, you want to make your high hand as high as possible, so that's why I have the Nor 4 instead of the Ban 4. Oh, and the other thing is, if I did have this here, I would be wasting this because it's a 0, so it doesn't matter what kind of 0 you have. So common sense says that the strong 4 goes in the high hand here. Okay, next hand here. Number 1, do we have any pairs? So we have no pairs here. Do we have a teen or a day? We do. Do we have a 7, 8, or 9 with it? We don't. So in this instance, what you want to do is balance the hand, make the hand as close together as possible. All right, so in this instance, you're not going to go lowest to highest, because what happens here is, because you have small tiles, it becomes 1, 3. So that method doesn't work. Because I have a 5 and a 6, okay, sorry, going back, the only way that this would work is if you treated this as a 1 instead of an 11. Then you could go the highest with the smallest, right? But because of that, usually when I have a 5, 6, and 2 low tiles, so if I have 2 different 10s or a 10 and 11, you know that the higher one of the small tiles by value will go with the lower tile here in value.
It's the only way that you kind of balance the hand out. So my only options here are 7-7, which is what you want to set the hand at, or 6-8. In this instance, the hand is 7-7. Can't get any closer than that. So number one, do we have any pairs? So we have no pairs. Do we have a teen or day? We don't have a teen or day. So now what we're going to do is balance the hand. All right, so what I'm going to do here is just do it in my head. I'm not going to rearrange it because usually when you're on the table, you're not going to be like fumbling around like that. So I have a 7, 8, 9, and 10. So your highest tile goes with your lowest tile. So your 7 goes with your 10. And then you can set your hand just like this. So the hand is now 7, 7. So here's my Mui 7 and my Yan 7. So this is the higher 7 because of the Yan tile. All right. First off, any pairs? Yes, we do have a really nice pair here. So we have the teen bow. Now, are there split rules to this? Yes, we do have split rules. Now in this instance, you're going to split your teens when you can make the hand 6-8 or better. But also keep in mind that you want to put your hand as close together as possible. Now I know this already makes a 6, so that's why some people can get confused with that. But the whole intent of when you split it is you want to make your hands competitive and as close as possible. So house way is gong gong. All right, they're both the same in value, just to let you know, because when we look at the value of these hands, it's always based on the highest ranking tile. It doesn't matter which 8 it is. These are both the same in value. So this gong is the same as this gong. They're both teen gongs. All right, so gong gong is the hand. All right. All right, so first off, are there any pairs? All right, there's no pairs here. I know you see 2 7s, but they're not the mixed 7s. All right, keep in mind that this 7 has an identical tile that looks just like it. So there are no pairs in here. Are there any, is there any teen day with a 7, 8, 9? No, there isn't. So now what you're going to do is you're going to balance the hand as best as you can. All right, so now in this instance, I have 2 7s, a 9, and a 10. My 7s aren't going together to make the 4. 1 7 goes with the 9, and 1 7 goes with the 10. Now, the one that goes with the 9 is going to make the 6. So what I'm looking for is the stronger 7 to make that 6. This is a higher 7, so it's going to go with this 9. And then the lower 7 goes with this. Now, because I have the pink tile, this pink tile would cancel the 7 out anyways. So this is the correct way of setting it. So you would have 6, 7. Okay. So number 1, do we have any pairs? No, there's no pairs in this one. Do we have a teen day? There's no teen day with a 7, 8, or 9. So now what we're going to do is we're going to balance the hand. All right, so when I'm looking at this, I just want to keep in mind that this G tile is fairly important because it can be a 3 or a 6. You always think of it as the highest first. So I always think of the value of this as a 6. So I have a 4, 6, 10, and 11. If I go my smallest tile with my highest tile, that's my 4 and my 11. These two will go together to make 5, and my 6 and the Mui tile will make a 6. All right, so the 6 and 10 make 6, 4 and 11 make 5, so my hand is 5, 6. That's the closest that you can make it. And the last hand. All right, so number 1, do we have any pairs? No pairs. Do I have a teen or a day? I don't have a teen or day with a 7, 8, or 9. So now I'm going to balance the hand and make it as close together as possible. So in this instance, I have a 6 and a 3. This makes a 9. Usually I look for 6s with 3s, 2s, even the futal. That makes a competitive hand. And then see what the other hand is. So in my mind, I already know that 8-9 is the best that I can do this. So in this hand, 8-9 is house sway. The only thing that's tricky about this one is if I have the other G tile, it's really difficult to see because I'm thinking, oh, do I split my 6s up? You usually don't want to keep them together because that makes a 2, right? Remember, this is a 3 or a 6, so this G tile is something to keep an eye on, either one of these when you have your hand. So just remember, think of it like a 3 or a 6 when you're setting your hands up. All right, we'll do a practice hand after that. Hopefully, guys, you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.